Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Sai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Sai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Sai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Honors you brothers that be pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And I'm gonna do this quick video regarding the hope. Okay, because at the end of the day, when all is said and done, when you've gone out there to the camp, you've done your 3 videos, it all has to amount to something, and that's what we hope for. Okay, now in this video I'm going to be talking about the immediate hope, but there is an extended hope, which, you know, the Spirit might jump on me to do that tomorrow, which is the hope of the kingdom. Okay, but as for now, the immediate hope is that this kingdom be destroyed. Okay, because we know that through the scriptures that this is a wicked society that we're living in. Okay, in fact, we know through the history, since Esau was placed in the ruling power seat, that wickedness has just gone out exponentially. Okay, starting from the time of the Greeks. They call that the beginning of civilization. That was the beginning of wickedness. All right, and what we hope for as the men of the Lord and as Israelites, okay, the rightful rulers, he the prince with the power, the rightful rulers of the earth, to rule in righteousness, we hope that this man of sin be relieved of his rulership. Because when you're looking around and you're seeing birds are falling out the sky by the thousands, those are signs that what we're living in is a society of death. Okay, whales beaching themselves because they're itchy, they can't breathe. Okay, signal failure. Okay, because they work on a thing called sonar, which you go throughout the whole entirety of the whole earth. You got what's known as electromagnetic pollution. Okay, by way of radio frequency, so that you can have your stereo on, and people think that's supposed to be healthy. Okay, but when you go into the science of it, each wave that they send out there from the radio has a certain amount of energy associated to it. Okay, you turn up that frequency, well, you got the same thing that you use in your microwave. Okay, so that electromagnetic poisoning, well, that's one of the reasons why people got cancer all over the place. Okay, and that's just to name a few things that's wrong with the society. That's just how the earth is used. We haven't even got to the fact that how it's ruled. Okay, and it's ruled by wrath. It's ruled by through wickedness. Okay, all of these people are crazy because why? Because the man of sin is in a position of power. Okay, so with all that being said, okay, this scripture is really going to be dealing with the hope. Okay, and it's a far-fetched hope as far as these people are concerned, especially your everyday Negro, Hispanic, or Native Americans. But when you go into a traditional society or one of them ancient societies, and you read up the history that they had, whether it be Moab or whether it be Ishmael or Ham, they'll show you the records, and more so even the scriptures, because the scriptures are historical. Okay, more so than anything, it's a book of history. They'll show you that people of the ancient world always saw chariots, man. Okay, UFOs, so you can understand. And they understood that those were from a heavenly being. And that heavenly being was the same being, that same entity that created the earth. They might have their bugged out stories about how the earth was created, but everybody understood that the God of Israel was the living power, and his vehicles were the ones that you would see in the skies, man. And that's that's the hope, okay? That's part of the hope. Okay, that's the starting part of the hope, that this kingdom is going to be destroyed. So, let's read this scripture right here. So it says, Zechariah 5:1. I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. Okay? And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I said, I see a flying roll. The length thereof 20 cubits, and the breadth of thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth over the whole earth, for everyone that stealeth shall be cut off. Now we gotta really stop here and understand what the scripture is saying, because one of the beautiful things about these scriptures, they're living, man, they're alive. Okay, the Bible is a book for the living. Okay, it's a thing that's alive, it's breathing. Okay, and when you really get into the breadth of what's being said within the scriptures, that's when so many beautiful things can be seen. Okay, for instance, here it's saying, this is the curse that goeth over the earth, and everyone that stealeth shall be cut off. So let's assess those 2 points, and we start first and foremost in Zechariah the 14th chapter and the 12th verse, and see what curse and see part of the curses that's going to come upon this place, and I can expound upon the point. So it says, this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. The eye shall consume away whilst they stand upon their feet, and the eye shall consume. Their flesh shall consume away whilst they stand upon their feet, and their eye shall consume away whilst in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouths. Now, when you really understand how the Lord's going to bring about this destruction, then you come to the end conclusion that what's being spoken about here in Zechariah the 14th chapter, right, is the same thing that's being spoken about here in Zechariah the 5th chapter. This is the curse. But we know that it ain't just going to be the ICBM nuclear missiles that's going to be, it's going to be the ones that's going to be deteriorating people as they stand up on their feet, as spoken about within the book of Zechariah the 14th chapter. We also know the chariots of the Lord is going to be putting in work. And guess what? The same effect of flesh consuming away whilst you stand up on your feet, tongue consuming away whilst you stand up on your feet. All of these things, it's the same thing that's going to be coming out of the chariots, man. Just pure raw energy, okay, consuming flesh. This is the curse. And the scripture goes on to say, for everyone that stealeth shall be cut off. Now, what does that make you think about? That makes you think about how Esau has gone through the entirety of the whole earth, okay? And what has he done? He's stolen everything, man. He enlarged his borders. His desires is as hell, okay, as it says here within the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter and the 5th verse. Yea, also because he transgresseth by one, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto himself all people. Okay, so he steals everything, man. He's a stealer. Another precept that comes to mind is the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter and the 9th verse. Okay, it says, if any man have an ear, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Now you might say, okay, that doesn't say doesn't say anything about stealing. Well, let's take a closer assessment of this. Okay, so if we go into the search function on this, okay, and we put stealeth, and we'll put a man, then you find out that boom, it's talking about the same thing. Okay, Exodus 21:16, it says, he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. So remember what I said about them scriptures being alive, man? That's what I was talking about. Okay, it's back within the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter and the 10th verse. He that leadeth into captivity. Let's put what the scripture says within the book of Exodus. He that stealeth a man shall go into captivity. Shall go into that same captivity. Okay, so that means to say, if you escape the curse that goeth forth over the earth, the ICBM nuclear missiles, which is our hope that this place has it to where World War III plays out. That's our hope, because that's when we can rest. There's no setting up black businesses. That's not going to work. Okay, you see when you're talking about setting up black businesses. Okay, so you set up a black business. Okay, who's going to be the governor, the supreme governor that they're going to meet up with at the United Nations, and he's going to say this, that, and the third, as with regards to your black businesses and all of that. Well, last time I checked, ain't no representative of you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans of the United Nations, man. You are no people, a persona non grata amongst these nations. Okay? That's why the scripture says when the Lord returns, he was going to return Jerusalem to be a praise upon the earth, and and we're going to be the governors of this entirety of. Because right now we're not even regarded, but we make up the largest population upon the whole face of the planet. Okay? Going back onto my point, there is no rest for you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans out here, man. Now you might get a few grands in your pockets, but making moves to where you can have so-called Negro or Hispanic communities where you can dwell safely away from the wretched hands of Esau, that's not going to happen. You can forget about that. Okay, that's not going to happen. It's been tried before. Look at Black Wall Street. What happened there? They bombed the hell out of that. So we're talking about the hope. When you see them chariots flying, when you see talks about World War III, that's your rest coming about. And if you make it through, if the Lord has it to where you're a part of the elect, I'm part of the elect. Okay, if you make it through, that's when you can set up so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American communities, because the Lord's going to establish it. Hell, the scripture goes as far as saying this: if it's not the will of the Lord, that thing ain't going to come to pass. And it's not the will of the Lord that you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans set up Capernaum, all right, inside Babylon. That's what the individuals out there amidst the groups like ISUPK and more specifically to what was these the purple guys, man, IUIC. They're trying to set up Capernaum upon the face of the earth, and it's just not going to happen because the Lord didn't set it up that way. That wasn't part of the prophecy. The prophecy was that the meek was going to inherit the earth. Now, what's the synonym of meek? Poor. So the poor was going to inherit the earth. Okay? Hey, what's up, man? Now, what that reminds me of is the fact that the vast majority of great millstone, we're in that meek situation, man. We're in that poor situation, man. Okay? You know, you're always in a state of trying to pay something off, or saving up for something that doesn't quite work, trying to move into a better situation and just ain't got the funds for it. That's a humble position to be, because all your persistent needs, your prayers, is focused on the kingdom being set up, because even when you get to that new situation, it's still going to be hell, man. And the reality is, for any individual out there that call themselves an Israelite, you experience the same thing. If Nate was allowed to set up a so-called this is the leader, Nate, this is the leader of the IUIC, if you're just coming into this truth, but if he really was able to set up these so-called Negro, Hispanic, or Native American businesses, okay, it still ain't gonna work, man. It ain't gonna pop off, man. You're still gonna be in a position of uncomfortability unless you sell out. And even when you sell out, you're so like losing off, because not only are you losing the kingdom, when these elites have done what they have to do with you, they're gonna dismiss you, man. Okay, they're gonna dismiss you. So let's carry on back with the scriptures, not to segue too much. Revelations 13:10, it says, "He that leadeth in captivity," so Exodus 21:16 snipped into there. It says, "He that stealeth with a man shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with a sword." Okay, here is the here is the faith, or rather more, here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So the hope, man. Here is the hope. Okay. And like I said, part of that hope is that, that curse that goeth forth on the earth, okay, which is the main bit I'm really touching on. Now, I might do part 2 of this when, because right now I haven't really got no articles popping off like that I want to get into. There might be some articles there that I haven't found. So until the next time I get some articles, I'm just going to be hitting out these precept-based lessons and that, okay, and maybe I get to do one dealing with the hope, and I might subtitle it Esau's captivity, and this one I'm going to subtitle it the hope, which is the chariots, because our main bit that we're dealing with right here is this book right here, okay, Zechariah, the 5th chapter. So that's what I might do in the future. I'll see how the spirit goes. It'll be like maybe a mini series, but something could pop off tomorrow, and I'll be in a different zone the next time. So let's carry on with this now. Zechariah, the 5th chapter, and we was at the 3rd verse. So it says, he said unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the whole earth for everyone that stealeth. And we saw what the scripture talks about, stealing a man. Okay, shall be cut off. Okay, so cut off, let's go into that word a little bit, see where it says to be empty, to be clear, pure, free, and certainly not innocent, not in this instance. Okay, it says exempt from punishment. We know that's not what it's talking about. Okay, So pretty much it's going to be emptied. It's going to be cleaned. So the whole house of Esau, as it says within the book of Malachi, the first chapter, is going to be emptied. It's going to be cleaned out. And when you really understand that Esau's house right now, his borders have been enlarged to the four corners of the earth. But the whole earth is going to need a cleansing process. That's why the Lord's going to cleanse it with fire. Okay? So let's finish up right here. And then we'll call it quits. So it says, as on the other side, according to it, and everyone that swerve shall be cut off, as on the other side, according to it. It says, now bring it forth, saith the Lord, right out of false, and he shall enter into the house of the thief. Who's the thief, man? We've seen that, man. Okay, he that stealeth from man. We've seen this, man, in the book of Exodus. This is Esau. Esau done stole all of these nations and put them in captivity, by way of psychological captivity, okay, physical captivity that the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans have been in, debt-based captivity, which is the biggest form of captivity right now. Okay, that's how everyone is right now. Okay, right. So from the house to the thief, and you talking about the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds are the biggest thieves in the world, man. Okay, they have amassed their wealth by way of stealing. They stole that. Check out the history of the Rothschilds and how they set up those banks, man. They did all of that by doing what? By taking all everyone's money and saying we're going to give you an IOU. And that's what you have within your pocket. When you read a statement made, it says you're supposed to have a certain amount of gold, right, for the bearer of that £10. That's why it's a weight. Okay, pound is a weight. I can't remember if sterling, $1 is a weight though. I'm pretty sure $1 is a weight. Okay, because it was all with reference to gold, and they done stole all the gold and gave you pieces of paper. They probably they literally laughing all the way to the banks because they own the goddamn banks. Okay, so let's finish this off. It says, enter into the house of the thief, and enter the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. So who swears falsely by the Lord's name, man? Esau. Okay, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and it shall consume, right, it with the timber thereof and the stone thereof. So right down to the foundation, to the sides of the walls, everything that Esau has built up, okay, is going to be destroyed. And these chariots, okay, I suppose coupling with the ICBM nuclear missiles, this is the hope, okay, for the Israelites. That's what we're lusting for, because when that is done, that's when you can really have rest. No more 6 o'clock get-ups, okay? No more perpetual working and never amassing to anything, okay? Right? Freedom, okay? Land, gold, wealth. Okay, these are the things the Lord has promised us through the hope of the scriptures, through the things that we're reading about here. It's going to come to those that make it out of it. Okay? So hopefully these precepts built your spirits up as they did mine. And Lord's will, I'll catch you on the next one. Maybe I get to do this as a mini series going forward. You know, we'll see how the Spirit has it. So, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone. Honest you brothers have been pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.